Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review where we talk about Annabelle, what was
Annabelle 2
Annabelle Creation. I'm sorry, Annabelle Creation, yes. And before we get started, I had something to say and a question. A few weeks back, we reviewed Wish Upon.
Yes.
And if you guys haven't checked out that review, go ahead and do that. And in that review, we talked about how the director of Wish Upon also directed the first Annabelle movie.
Yes.
And that we would not talk about that movie until we saw this film. So now that we're now reviewing it, what is your thoughts on the first Annabelle movie?
Well, let's see. Well, in this Annabelle movie, you see the beginning of how the Annabelle doll gets possessed, or at least you think you do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, before this movie ever happened, what was the thoughts of you had on that first Annabelle movie?
You always wondered how the doll became what it was. You know, how the Warrens got in the Conjuring movie.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, you get the story in the first Annabelle movie of how it got to the Warrens.
Yes.
And you find out how dangerous and how the doll works.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like in The Conjuring, they tell you every object that they had in their home was a conduit or possessed by something or touched by something evil.
Yes, they did.
And you get, in the beginning of the movie, Annabelle, at least the first one, you get the sense of how the doll became possessed, or how it got, became a conduit.
Yes.
And you find out how, in this current movie that we've seen, how this movie connects to that movie.
Well, I don't know. I remember you not really caring for the Annabelle movie.
Well, The Conjuring, out of the 4 movies that we've seen so far, The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Annabelle
Creation.
My personal favorite was The Conjuring, and which is one of the ones I own.
Yes.
We see how each of these 4 films connect to one another.
We do. Look, I'm not gonna mince words here. I know you're kind of mincing words a little bit, but I won't.
Well, it's all interconnected.
I'm gonna say I didn't care for Annabelle.
Yeah.
I thought
it was like a dull version of what it could have been.
For me personally, I felt like the Annabelle doll worked as a really cool side thing in The Conjuring, and once you gave it's the whole entire movie, I just didn't think it really worked. There was only really one good sequence I felt in the first Annabelle movie, and that was the scene where she went down to the laundry, and there was like the demon or the entity there. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Beyond that, I didn't really care for it all that much, and I thought to myself, I said, okay, they're making another Annabelle movie. How is this gonna work?
Yeah.
How is this gonna be? And when I heard that it was going to be a movie that took place before the Annabelle movie, I thought
there was a lot more. We had a lot more questions like, this doesn't make any sense if the first one
does it connect? Wasn't there already an origin story? What is this exactly? So was a little bit confusing going into it. I'm not gonna lie.
Technically this won't be any spoilers from what I'm about to say, but in a lot of ways, out of how the movies go, Conjuring 1, 2, Annabelle 1, 2, in terms of timeline, it would be Creation first, then it would be the first Annabelle movie, then The Conjuring, then The Conjuring 2.
Yes.
Which, I thought the Star Wars ones were a little weird when they first showed the prequel movies.
They're going all over the place with continuity on this one. So I guess the real question is, where do you want to start with Annabelle Creation?
Well, if we do spoilers, it's gonna be minor spoilers.
Yeah, it's gonna be minor spoilers. We're really gonna kind of try to tiptoe around spoilers. I think
that, and there's a couple Easter eggs that connect to the other films.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil or anything, no.
So I mean,
I would probably think the first place to start, at least for me, would probably be the story.
Yeah, the story is, I mean, considering this is the prequel to everything in the other series so far.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I mean, you get to see, I forget I know one of the actors, Miranda Otto's character, and Anthony
LaPaglia.
Which I haven't seen both these actors in a movie in quite a while.
It's been a long time. I can't even... maybe you out there that are watching, maybe you know the last movie, especially the last movie Anthony LaPaglia was in. Man, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I can't even remember.
Probably the last movie I saw him was like late 90s, early 2000. But that was a long time ago. I don't even remember what the movie's name is, let alone what it was about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I forgot. But, I mean, what's great about with their characters is that it's the idea of, okay, they have this daughter, and the idea that the daughter, it's a complete accident what happens.
I mean, you get to see the part in the trailer, you get to see it in the trailer, so you're not really spoiling anything.
No, and even in the trailer, they basically say, so it's not even a spoiler because it's in the trailer saying, hey, this
force,
this ghost that we thought was our daughter.
It's like really not our daughter, it's trying to manipulate us and using us.
But then, we said yes for it to go into this doll, and of course it goes into the doll, and of course things go bad from there.
It was just a big mistake, and they noticed something really evil about it.
But what I don't understand, and maybe you can explain this to me, right? So if they know that this entity is inside this doll, and they've known for 12 years or 11 and a half or whatever, why would they bring the kids? Why would they bring the kids? Like,
here's my speculation. It's not a great answer. It's an okay answer.
Okay.
They realized maybe because it's been locked away, sealed up, been denied entry.
I know, but damn, I mean, you're still taking a risk, aren't you?
It's been 12 years. They haven't heard a peep out of it.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, maybe they think, it's gone now, or maybe it's contained, so it can't do any harm. Which, AKA, you have something that evil wandering around, it's never gone. Never truly gone.
Never gone at all.
I mean, look at all the past horror films. Oh, that thing's dead. It's never dead.
It's never dead.
It finds a way back.
Please, it's never dead. Chop its head off, burn it, bury it, or whatever you gotta do.
Just a case and example. They explain what they've done to Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
they find a way back.
They always find a way back. It doesn't matter. They always find a way back.
You can turn that thing into ashes. They find a way back.
Absolutely. They'll explain that. They'll explain next time. They'll explain the doll was living with a hermit for a year, and just like Michael Myers was for one fucking movie.
It went to Target, and it went to Walmart, and it got passed around, and it just kept coming on.
Absolutely. Next time I go to a Toys R Us, I'll just see it. But
if you got a doll that's staring at you as you're walking by, run.
Absolutely. I think the past couple of days, I think I saw it over at FYE. I
thought we just saw it at the place that we walked past now.
Exactly. So I just kept on walking. But
I was doing this.
Yeah.
Soul is mine.
Yeah, and I just walked by doing this, and I just passed by. But I mean,
it's like the first time. Before we get back to the movie, it's like the first time I saw Child's Play. Mind you, I was very young at the time.
Oh, sure.
And I don't know if you guys remember, they used to have those My Buddy dolls.
Yep.
Which kind of a way, it kind of reminds me of Chucky.
Yeah.
I remember one night after watching that movie for the first time, my parents put him on my dresser, which was right next to my bed. I'm like in my covers like this. I'm like, get that creepy doll away from me. He's gonna steal my soul.
Oh man.
My parents were like, it was just a movie. Go to bed.
Yeah.
It wasn't a movie. He's coming to take my soul.
It's real.
Charles E. Ray is coming after me.
I know. Oh my god.
Came through the TV.
Oh, no, but you know what? The story I think is actually. It's not a bad story, actually.
I thought it was an improvement over the last movie.
I absolutely did. And, I thought, honestly, the idea of, the whole, the orphanage and the idea of, they have really no place else to go, and these people have brought them in there and an act of kindness.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really nice setup, a lot better than the first Annabelle movie was, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
So for that, I thought it already had gotten some points immediately from that alone.
Here's the one thing I would say I wish... you get to see bits more of the demon in this one. Or
You do.
The entity or whatever you want to call it. Which... I thought it was better to keep it in the shadows. Other than seeing its hands or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was best to keep it in the shadows.
Absolutely, I agree.
This one they showed a little way too much of it, in my opinion. Just a little bit more than I wanted.
It wasn't terrible. I thought. I do want to say, as far as the characters are concerned, there is a couple characters I thought that were a little bit annoying for my taste. Not too annoying where I was literally wishing they would die, but maybe some bodily harm wouldn't have hurt.
You are an evil man. If I'm thinking who you think you're thinking, these are children compared to you.
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking of the little kids.
The more of the adults.
Yes.
Which particular ones would you say without spoiling? Not the main two, but the third one?
The one that was more of the leader of the pack. The older chick.
The kids or the one that was watching them?
No, the kids.
Oh, the one that was in the...
the teenager, the older teenager of
the one that was in the bar scene?
Yeah, I think, yes.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree, because you always got that annoying little bitch.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, just a little bit, and I was like...
I think she got off kind of easy.
I actually did, because there was a scene where I thought, oh man, that's gonna be it for her.
You even see in the trailer, she's like... And something grabs her and it cuts right there. I'm like...
Yeah, and I'm like,
come on, they could at least cut her or something.
They could have done something. I do think that... do they shy away from sort of the gore and the blood a little bit? Maybe a little bit, I'd say. It's more scares than anything else.
Even when they show one of the death scenes of one of the adult characters.
Yeah.
I'm like...
There is that... Well, I don't want to give it away, but it's...
It looked like the character just got the life drained out of him or scared the crap out of.
It's a little bit CGI-ish, a little bit. It's not terrible or anything, but
I was expecting Kara to be mutilated or something, in that type of...
Yeah.
It looked like they just got the life sucked out of them.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay. It's not terrible. It was still effective, but I will say that I do think overall, I think the acting was actually really good. We did talk about Anthony LaPaglia, Miranda Otto, which I thought was good.
You can understand his character, and he lost his daughter. His perfect family home been broken down to literally almost nothing.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I do actually really did enjoy their characters, and I thought their acting was pretty decent. I thought the lady who played the nun wasn't terrible either. I thought she was okay.
You do get a Easter egg with her character.
You do, and something that basically connects to The Conjuring, but we won't say what it is.
And another interesting tidbit. I forget if they showed it. It's kind of fuzzy now. You do get to see the original Annabelle doll.
Yes, you do see...
Not the one in the movie. I'm talking like the original real-life one.
The original real-life one that the Warrens have, and it's the Raggedy Ann. Now you do get to see that, which is kind of nice. I did like the scares in it.
Yeah, there's some.
I
think that's what was really lacking in the last one, is like really good jump scares.
Yes, I think the last Annabelle movie, I think it went for... There was jump scares in it, but I think it went for really like the music sting more to get you to jump. I think this film doesn't do that as much. I think it actually kind of does that. I think it does the scares to a better degree, where it doesn't rely on sort of the stings, whereas the first film did. So that's what I think with that.
I mean, the only one that I thought was kind of scary, but you're kind of seeing the trailer, was in the original Annabelle, is where you see like the adult version, then she turns in, or no, you see the kid version, and she comes running through the door, and then you see the adult version attack the main character.
Yeah, that was really nice. You don't see that in this film. It's not in...
I thought that was kind of good in a way.
It's not in this film, but there's some really cool stuff with the entity itself, which I thought was really fascinating and really interesting. And I was like, man, that's... Just that stuff alone, I think, was way better than a lot of the Annabelle stuff that they had in the first film. As far as probably, I mean, the music was good, the editing was good, everything like that. I mean, that all was solid too.
I mean, the only thing I'd have to say was kind of question mark would be toward the end, how it connects to the original Annabelle film, which me and him both were talking about after the movie ended.
Yes.
And I understand they had to find a way to connect the Annabelle doll and one of the characters at the end to the original movie.
Did you like how they did that? Without giving away anything else.
Yes and no, but it kind of makes you wonder, because without saying spoilers to the film, it makes you wonder how A to B to C, you know?
You do wonder because... Oh, God, I wish...
It's tough, because it's almost impossible without saying anything without spoiling something.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, we are gonna spoil stuff.
We're gonna have to spoil.
We're gonna have to for this last part, guys. We are gonna spoil it just to kind of like be able to discuss it. So,
if you want to cut off, this should be the time.
This will be the time. So just to let you know. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay. So at the end of the film. Well, if you haven't seen the film yet and you're just watching this now, the one girl that you see in the trailer who gets possessed, which they do show in the trailer. So
yes, no spoiler.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently they lock her up, or at least to possess her, where the doll was originally put in. You know, with all the sacred paper, you know, all the religious papers that contain her power, you know, keep her suppressed. They lock her in, all hell breaks loose. Basically, the entire place that they were staying was shaking and looked like it was about to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And when they open it back up, the Annabelle doll is still there, but apparently one of the priests said whatever entity was possessing the doll is gone now.
Yes, it did say that, yes.
But the girl that it was possessing is also gone now.
Yes.
Well, cut toward a few minutes later, we see the girl again, except this time she's in child services somewhere.
Somewhere, wherever, we don't really know.
Yeah. And apparently she's all normal and healed, and it makes you wonder, is the demon or entity, whatever you want to call it, is it still inside of her? Has it been cleansed from her soul? Does she even still have a soul anymore?
We don't know.
Because how can we say it?
Flash, I believe,
forward.
12 years
It's
later.
flash
I believe.
forward.
Yeah.
And you see that she gets adopted, which connects to the Annabelle movie which, by the way, she doesn't go by her original name in this film.
Which is Janice.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's Annabelle
now.
So we see her in the original Annabelle movie. Apparently, you see her growing up through the years in different pictures, apparently. Which, I mean, the only problem I have is the girl started up blonde, now she's different hair color, and, she doesn't... I mean, this is supposed to be, what, 12? How would they say, 12?
From when she got adopted to that beginning of the Annabelle movie is 12 years later. So maybe it's like very late teens, like maybe 19, 20 at most.
She definitely look older than her late teens and 20s.
Yeah,
I'd say like almost 30s.
No, it's not that. I know that much.
Well, she must have done some poor living then. Well, anyway, it cuts back to the original scene in Annabelle, which you see her slaughter her parents and she commits suicide and all that stuff, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep,
And apparently her character possesses the doll again.
Yes.
So it makes me wonder, was the demon inside her the whole time just playing nice, or did she lose her soul while that entity was possessing her?
You know what,
or did he drain the humanity out of her until she was a sociopathic killer?
For me, I felt like the demon, from at least my point of view, is the demon was always inside her. That's why she said her name was Annabelle instead of Janice. And the idea that the demon always wanted to be reconnected with the doll again.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it probably did something sort of like in the Conjuring 2, where the evil nun was using that old man's spirit to possess the girl or whatever.
Possibly. I mean, and then get back together with the doll again, which the young couple next door had just gotten. So, I mean, yes, there's a little bit of a coincidence to it, but
it's a little the ending to this is really foggy. Questions wise.
I mean, it was kind of cool to connect it like that.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised they actually went there and did it.
I mean, the only problem that me and him had was, like, we thought the last one was the prequel to how it all started up, and then we get this movie, and
now this. I mean, but like I said, it's an ending that is intriguing, and I liked where they went with it. Again, it's a little foggy and a little plot hole-ish. But, again, I thought it was kind of clever. Let me ask you this, before we get to the ratings. Would you be up for seeing a sequel to
See,
Annabelle?
the only problem with that is if they did an Annabelle 3,
Yeah.
wasn't she already taken by the Warrens by the end of the first Annabelle? Or...
No, she was not. She was not taken by the Warrens at the end of the first Annabelle
if they
movie.
did do that, they'd have to show if they do another sequel, they'd have to show eventually how the Warrens got the Annabelle doll.
Yes, you'd have to show it.
Because that's the only thing they really have left, because...
Yeah, that's true. It kind of would be cool to maybe do a third one. I mean, again, even if they don't... I mean, do you look at this film and do you sort of reevaluate the first one because of this film?
Well, this gives you a lot more answers than you did questions in the last film.
Yeah.
I mean, it does give you a lot better of how it got all started up.
Yeah. I mean...
The last one was kind of very dull and didn't give you a super ton of answers.
I thought this one was much better, and I thought it was far more effective to the Annabelle character than what that first movie was.
They even said that online, that this one was this is what the first Annabelle should have been like.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts before we get into the ratings?
Let's see. Let me think. Well, this is technically another spoiler. So, one of the Easter eggs that we were talking about earlier connects to The Conjuring 2, where we see the nun talking about a picture of nuns that she knew. Would she say Romania or whatever?
I believe it was Romania, yes.
And the guy's like, who's this nun back there? Spoiler alert, it's the creepy demonic nun from The Conjuring 2. It makes me wonder, is that thing... How far has it always been some way connected to the Annabelle demon, or is it just a very happy coincidence?
I actually think the actual connection is sort of like, you know, the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper in Ghostbusters.
So like a yin and yang?
That if they come together and actually start to make love, then it all
that
goes.
would be true hell. Because
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
That would be a good idea for the third Conjuring.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Well, technically, they are doing the demonic nun movie. I forget what the actual name of the nun was.
I forget.
But I would like to see the Warrens go up against that and the entity behind Annabelle.
It would be cool. I don't know where they're going with this whole Conjuring shared universe, but I'm kind of...
Hey, as long as they keep it interesting.
Absolutely. So what is your grade rating for Annabelle Creation?
I forget what I gave the last Annabelle movie, but I know
man,
it
well,
good.
it was before we were doing these, so
I know it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good. I know that much.
I would say this one was a lot better, a lot well done.
Yes.
I mean, there was some stuff I thought, like you said, you were kind of wishing that one, you figured at least a couple of kids were going to get severely hurt or, like, killed possibly, but they don't even go that far.
No,
and
they really don't.
I guess they wanted to keep it, I forget what the rating was for this movie.
I don't know, actually. I kind of forgot, but I know it's rated R.
Really?
Yeah, it is, because when we went to the ticket counter, or at least when I did, the older woman taking my ticket said, you may need to show ID because kids are trying to get into this movie. So I was like, okay.
This one looks like a kid. You look like Stephen King's It, Pennywise the Clown Jr. You look like his apprentice.
Oh boy.
Which we will get into when we go see that film. But I'd have to say, I think the main thing that really improved the grade rating for me was the jump scares and the somewhat storyline compared to the other one.
Absolutely.
Because if it wasn't for that, I'd probably give this movie like a D-.
Okay.
But considering all that stuff and how they connected to the other one, it raised it up quite considerably.
Okay.
I'd have to say it's on borderline, like B-, C+, but I'd have to say it's probably on the B- side.
Wow, you're really high actually on this. Wow, I'm surprised.
I mean, like I said, it was a vast improvement over the last one.
I agree. It is a vast improvement. I think that the first Annabelle had so many problems, and I thought overall it just being dull was the biggest sin of it all that it had. This movie, the one good thing is it's not dull.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not dull, and not only that, but I think, like I said, I think the scares work. I think the story is far better. I think the characters are vastly better as well. Again, I think there's better demon entity movies out there than this, but if
then again, there are a lot worse.
There is a lot worse. That is true. There's a ton worse. So for me, I'm gonna probably give it a C+.
So we're not that far.
We're not that far, but yeah, I'm a little lower than you are, but yeah, it definitely is worth watching. I don't know whether it would be a theater watch for most people, but I think it would be a nice thing to even watch at home, at night. It would be a cool thing to do. So.
I'd have to say, compared to this whole year for horror films, this is beyond the better spectrum, and trust me, we've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, we've seen a lot worse. So, it wasn't too bad. So, that is our review for Annabelle Creation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. And we will be back next time for another movie review. All right? Take care, guys.
Later.
Bye.